Success leaves clues. There's only a few things you got to do to be successful. And again, ladies and gentlemen, we're talking success in any area. I always clarify that when we have these conversations because, yes, some of it is financial success, but some of it's success in your relationships, having good relationships around you. Some of it's success in your health, right? You know all the areas, but success leaves clues. So no matter what area you are trying to attain success in, business, career, family, health, money, whatever it is, you just got to apply certain principles and certain ways of thinking. Again, thesis, if you change your thinking, you change your life. So maybe your health isn't where you want it to be just because you don't think about it the right way. Maybe your finances aren't where they need to be because you don't think about money the right way. Maybe your business isn't where it needs to be because you don't think about business in the same ways that successful people think about it. So we have to practice this stuff. So these are reminders. These are things in there that you heard that you probably know, but the question is, are you doing it? And is that how you really think about things? Is that really how you think about things? A couple of things I wrote down just last from what Matthew McConaughey was talking about, dreaming bigger. Dreaming bigger. How big are your dreams? How big are your dreams? That analogy of I rather aim for the A and land on the C than aim for the C and land on the F, right? Sometimes in our dreams, in our thought life, we're not dreaming big enough. We're not thinking big enough. We're aiming for the C, so we're going to get the F. Versus if you are aiming beyond, your vision is beyond, you are dreaming bigger, you are thinking beyond what you even believe is possible. He says going after perfection, but going after anything that's bigger beyond what you think you're capable of, and then you land a little bit below that. I used to, mentors of mine, we used to have financial goals that we would always throw out, and sometimes they'd be very low. And then I'd hear someone or one of my mentors say, hey, I'm going after, $300,000 this month in income. And I'm like, what? 300 people, 300 in a month? And they even thought that that was a little out there, but it's better to shoot for 300 and land on 150 than shoot for 150 and land on 60, right? So are you dreaming bigger? Are you thinking bigger? Are you thinking beyond where you are? Or are you aiming for the C and going to land on the F? So you got to dream bigger. He also talked about do the hard things now. Your life becomes easier. I just sharing this with my daughter over and over again. Hey, do the hard things now, life gets easier. Do the easy things now, life gets harder. Have the easy conversations now, avoid the conversations now, your relationships get harder. Have the hard conversations now, face it head on, your relationships get easier. That's just in relationships, that's in communication. That's the way it works in all the areas, ladies and gentlemen. Do the hard things now. Are you actively focused on doing the hard things every day in the areas that you want to grow? Are you actively doing the hard thing in your health? Are you actively doing the hard thing in your business? Are you actively doing the hard thing in your finances, the hard thing in your relationship? Like, are you doing the hard thing, or is life beating us down so we don't want to do anything else that's hard because we think life is hard? Remember, I told y'all, life doesn't get easier. We get stronger or not. It's how you think about it. It's how you think about it. So do hard things. That's the encouragement to all of you. Do hard things. Have the hard conversation. Do the hard thing in your health, right? Like if you just focus on this and you're intentional about thinking about your life this way, that you are just naturally going to do the hard things, your life will get easier. The areas you are trying to improve, it'll get easier to manage those things. Matthew McConaughey just told you that again. Robert Greene said, do things before you're ready. Man, how important is this conversation? Do things before you're ready. The amount of people that I know, no shame, no shade if I've talked to you and you've been one of those people. It's okay, right? We all have these stages. But man, the amount of people that only do things when they're ready. Like the only way they can take a step is like if all of the bases are covered and they've gotten all the information and they know all the facts and all the stuff. Robert Greene tells you you should do before you're ready. You should build this muscle. Again, it's how you think about things. And do you always have to know the information? Do we have that school that that employee school mindset of like, let me learn it, then I'll go do it? Because it's okay. That is ingrained in us when we go to school, right? We have to read the book to take the test. We have to like get the degree to go get the job, right? Like that, it's kind of how we're programmed a bit, is to learn and then go do. But what if all the success comes by doing and then learning? What if all the success that you'll face, that you'll have in life, all of the times that you're going to push past, get through, get over the hump, is because you did and then you learned, not the other way around? Robert Greene is telling you to do exactly that, right? Once you have the idea, once you know that this is kind of the direction, make the decision to just do it before you feel like you're ready, before you feel like you're ready, because you'll learn. Your brain goes to work figuring out how to sustain you, how to make sure that you get all the things that you're setting out to get, right? It's the way our brains work. But is that how you operate? Is that how you operate in life? Do you operate out of the I'm just going to do and then I'm going to learn? Or do we have to learn and then do? It's all about how you think it. Change your thinking, you change your life. You change your thinking, that's when the outcomes change. The other thing that he talked about in there is a sense of urgency. And that's where I'm going to land for you today. How much of a sense of urgency do you have? How much of a sense of urgency of getting things done? Sometimes you might feel like you're lazy, but maybe that laziness is just because you're not committed to anything. There's no necessity in your life. There's nothing bigger that you're building. There's nothing that you feel like you need a sense of urgency toward. Like, I got to get this done. Maybe you do have that thing in your life. That's the thing you should be focused on, whatever that sense of urgency is. If it is your family, people with young kids always say this to me, is right, like, oh, I'm doing it for my family. Well, where's your sense of urgency? Because your family, like your kids are going to grow up. They're going to need you like sooner rather than later, like to make sure that they're set up. So where's the sense of urgency? How quickly are we getting things done? How much do we wake up with that battery in our back in the morning and say, man, I get to go do this today. Man, I get to knock this out today. One step closer to our goals, one step closer to our dreams, right? How much of that are we living? How much of that are we operating out of? In our text, 177 Mental Toughness Secrets, it says the great ones have a sense of urgency. Great ones have a sense of urgency. I just want y'all to want that to sink in and you reflect for you on this Friday, like, what's your level of urgency to getting to your vision, to getting to your goals, to getting things done, to creating the life you don't need a break from? Here's what it says in the text. It says middle class performers operate like there's an endless amount of time in a day, week, month, year, and life. The world class is extremely sensitive to time. The great ones have a sense of urgency because they are operating at a level of awareness that constantly reminds them the present moment is all any of us really have. The world class is on a mission to fulfill a dream, and they know the clock is ticking. The only time amateur performers develop a sense of urgency is toward the end of the day, week, or before they go on vacation. Isn't that the truth? Right? Imagine if they channel that same energy, enthusiasm, and focus into their everyday performance. Worldwide productivity would probably triple in one day. Professional performers constantly remind themselves that life is short, and if they're going to make something happen, now's the time. This thought process makes the middle class uncomfortable. Remember, they prefer to operate out of a state of mild delusion. Knowing the clock is ticking and none of us know how much time we have left is too uncomfortable for emotional amateurs. For pros who operate from objective reality, it's a primary motivating force. It's one of the reasons the great ones tend to pursue large, magnificent visions. They know their time on earth is limited and they want to leave a legacy. Their sense of urgency goes back to the beginning of the mental toughness process, clearly defining what you want. What do you have a sense of urgency to do? If you know the answer, you can implement this world-class philosophy immediately. If not, make it your mission to discover the embers that burn within your soul and focus that passion on what you really want. Don't stop until you find it. When you do, create a sense of urgency to act on it now. Don't hesitate. Pursue your dream boldly and fearlessly. It may be later than you think. It may be later than you think. Not using fear as a motivator, but fear can be a motivator. I choose to not. I don't like to use fear as a motivator, but fear motivates a lot of people to do things. So understand, it may be later than you think. You may not have as long as you think to get your goals, to get your dreams, to get go after that life you don't need a break from. It may be later than you think. So, how clear are you on what you want? How clear are you on what you want? Because that's where it all starts. Like it says here, the sense of urgency goes back to the beginning of the mental toughness process, which is clearly defining what you want. Most people don't know what they want out of their life, out of their life. Now, what you don't want, what you do want. How clear are you on it? How much does it pull you? How much does, like, it's not the thing that's just made up that would be nice, that you someone in your family might want, that you might have adopted, like you actually knowing what it is you want to see happen, what it is you want from your life. In the video, Matthew McConaughey was talking about it kind of aligning himself to him, or the guy that was interviewing him, right? Stephen Bartlett was like, hey, it's aligning yourself to you. When you reach out and you ask whatever that question is, right, about what career you should take, it's really you tapping in and saying, like, man, this is what I'm feeling. And so, how much of this are you running your life on? How much are you operating your life on? I know exactly what I want, and I'm waking up every day excited. Not that it's always going to be easy, y'all, but that you're excited to go after that thing. You're excited to get to that version of you. You're excited to see that thing come to life. That is where this whole process starts. And that'll give you the sense of urgency. That'll give you the, hey, I got to wake up late nights, early mornings, right? Like I want to get after this thing. So that's my encouragement to you on this Friday. First and foremost, get back to the vision. What do you want? You're going to hear me say this forever because it's such an important part to you getting to the life that you don't need a break from, is understanding what that looks like, clearly defining it. And again, if you haven't taken time to clearly define it, spend some time with yourself. This is how you find it, is by spending time with you, just with you, in silence, quiet, in your journal, in your, like, just with you. That's how you get to understanding what you want. And you cut out the noise, you cut out the distractions, you get off social, you stop taking in a bunch of information and a bunch of things that are clouding how you think. Get alone, get some time to just think about what you want in all the areas. What does life look like? When I ask this question to people, I always say, fast forward me out 10 years, paint me a picture of your ideal life. Fast forward me out 10 years. So 10 years from now, you're going to end up somewhere. You're going to be some age, Lord willing, right? You don't know how much time you have, but let's just say you did have that time. 10 years from now, you're going to end up somewhere. You're going to end up a certain age. If you could draw it up exactly how you want it, if God gave it to you exactly how you wrote it down with specificity and detail, what would that look like? What would life look like? Where would you live? What will your relationships be like? What would your health life look like? What would your financial situation be like? Specifically, not I don't have financial worries, like how much money comes in? Who do you hang around with? What are you reading? What does life look like? What do you get to see? Where do you move? Who do you serve? Like what does life look like? Can you draw it up? Your perfect ideal life. Matthew McConaughey just told you, aim for the A, you'll fall on the C. Aim for the big life that you say you want, the things that you want, and you'll likely fall somewhere right below that. But if you're not clear at all and you don't have any vision and you're shooting for the C, you're shooting for the D, you want just, oh, as long as my bills are paid, you're shooting for the F, you're going to get way below the F. That's not how we design a life. That's not how we, right? Us on this call, wanting to get ourselves better, get to the next version of ourselves. You got to dream bigger. You got to have a clear vision, and it has to be big. It has to pull you. It can't just be, man, that would be nice. It has to. There used to be a saying we used to tell people, your why should make you cry. The why behind your doing something, your why should bring emotions to you. It shouldn't just be like, I want to make $1 billion. Yeah, well, why? And like, if you keep going down that path of why, it should hit an emotion. It should trigger something that, like, man, if I do this, this is what life could be for my grandkids, for my children, for my community, for my church, for believers, for like whatever your thing is, like, it should hit an emotion. That's how clear your vision's got to be, ladies and gentlemen. That's how clear your vision's got to be. So, again, spend some time with you. Write it down. Start crafting what you think life should look like for you. Don't be vague. Be very clear. We only get we only get the goals that are clear and specific. Those are the only things we get. If you say, "Hey, I want to be rich," it's not specific. That's not. It's just not specific. You don't. Your brain doesn't know where to take you. Okay. But getting to numbers, understanding what your health routine looks like, what your weight looks like, this is how we get to that vision, y'all. So I got to drive this home because this is what gives you the sense of urgency. If some of you don't have a sense of urgency, if life right now is just like, it's the mundane, it's the, I go to work, I see these same people, I have these same talks, I'm thinking of these ideas, but I'm really just doing the same things over and over again, feeling the same ways, being comfortable in our emotional home, our emotional comfort zones, in our physical comfort zones. And that's just life. We're not practicing the hard thing. We don't have that sense of urgency. We got to get back to the drawing board. That's all. We just got to get back to the drawing board. No matter what your age and stage is, you can always get back to the drawing board. You never, like, we should always have a dream. We should always have something in our hearts that we're passionate about, that we want to see happen. And if we just want to think about our life or who we want to serve, that could be a starting place. But you got to get clear on that. You got to get clear on it. Once you get clear, again, now you can create a sense of urgency. Like it says here, make it your mission to discover the embers that burn within your soul and focus that passion on what you really want. Don't stop until you find it. When you do, create a sense of urgency to act on it now. Don't hesitate. Act on it now. Do it before you feel like you're ready. Do it before you feel like you're ready. You're never going to feel completely ready to reach your goals and dreams. It's just not the way it works. So you have to train your brain. You have to train your nervous system how to do things when you don't feel like you're ready. It's literally getting out of your comfort zone. It will feel uncomfortable. That's what it's meant to do. So the fact that you're uncomfortable, it means you're growing. It means you have to learn, you have to react, you have to do things differently to get a different result. But that's what you're here to do anyway. That's what you're here. If you liked all the results you were getting, you would think that you've arrived. So obviously you want some things to change. So we got to think about it differently. And then when we think about it differently, we'll act on it differently. Action step for today said, uh, well, it's to heighten your sense of urgency. You can do some mathematical calculations and figure out the average person's lifespan and how much longer you think you have. Again, we don't have to motivate by fear. We don't have to be motivated by fear. It's one way to motivate, but we don't have to. But if you need a little kick in the butt, you should start thinking about this. You're not going to be here forever. You're not going to be here forever. This quote says, one realizes the full importance of time only when there is little left of it. Every man's greatest capital asset is his unexpired years of productive life. You got to do it now, ladies and gentlemen. Don't wait. Do it now. Whatever that thing is. I don't know what that thing is for you. Whether it's in your finances, whether it's in your business, career, health, relationship, I'm not sure. Spiritual life, I'm not sure. But you got to do it now. Like, don't wait. Like, do it now. Make the decision now. You're not fully ready. It's okay. You don't have to be fully ready. You're smart enough. You're capable enough. You're equipped enough. God's already placed everything that you need inside of you. It's already there. You just got to go do the thing. You got to go do it. Get the sense of urgency. Do it this weekend. Do something that scares you. Do something that pushes you out of your comfort zone. Do something that your future self is going to thank you for. Do the hard things now, the hardest things now, the things you're pushing against. Do that stuff now. Life gets easier, y'all. I promise. It's the way it works. I love you guys. I want you to win. You deserve to win. Your families deserve it. I'm rooting for you. I'm here in your corner. I want you to win. I want your families to win. I know it takes work, and you got to be intentional about doing the work, y'all. That's all. Do the work this weekend. Do something that scares you. I'll see you guys on Monday. Take care.